Well, again, everybody, it's Plowboy's Ghost Channel. I'll do a little video today while I'm messing around with my load data for 480 Ruger for this Super Blackhawk Bisley that I really do love. Y'all, I wanted a 475 Linebaugh for a long time, and then I came across that 480 and went ahead and jumped on it because I love that short barrel. I mentioned that to y'all, I know. And to me, that's just perfect as far as the length, the handiness of the gun. And I could go up to a BFR and spend a good bit more, especially if you want a 5-inch or the short barrel 475 Linebaugh from of a BFR. You've got to pay for it because that's one of their custom guns. And the one I've got in my cart in there with a Bisley grip on it is like $1,700. I think it's $1,700 with black micarta grip on it. So anyway, that's a little bit more than I want to do because look, let's be honest about it. There's not a lot of difference between, power-wise, there's not a lot of difference between 480 Ruger, a max load of 480 Ruger, and a 475 Linebaugh. There's only 2,000 PSI max pressure between the two. They can use the same bullet. The only difference is a little bit of difference in the case length. So, with that said, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. So anyway, I am looking at, with this Lee bullet, I can get the cartridge overall length of the 475 Linebaugh with a 480 bullet, 480 case. Gives me the case capacity and should be the pressure characteristics of 475 Linebaugh. Now I'm not looking to go up here to the max load of 475 Linebaugh, but look, it's only between the 475 max, minimum and max, there's only 92 feet per second difference. This is from Hodgson's load data off the website. So I'm coming from the powder manufacturer for the H110 powder that I'm using. Now this is showing that loaded with, instead of loading it short like this, using that bottom crimp groove, see I've got it in the top crimp groove now, but if I use that bottom crimp groove and I get the case capacity and the overall length of 475 Linebaugh, according to this is also based off of a 405 grain cast performance bullet, and I'm using the Lee 400 grain, which is actually like 396 grain, somewhere around in that on average way mine drops out. So I have just a little bit lighter weight. I'm running the max load on 480, and I won't say that I'm getting pressure signs, but listen, y'all, I've been having, I can go down to the minimum load and I can get some primer flattening with a minimum load. Now I'm not getting any sticky case extraction even with a max load. Matter of fact, this says 22.3 grains. I'm at 22.5. And I should still be under the 48,000 PSI, especially since I'm using a lighter bullet than what this data calls for. But I'm getting, primer flattening, and I have checked the head space, and the head space is perfectly within spec. So it's not anything like that. One of those things I can't explain. It's just the way that it is, but no sticky case extraction. But according to this is using the same bullet between these. My max 480 load is probably running within 20 foot per second or so, 25 foot per second, definitely within 30 foot per second of the minimum 475 Linebaugh load. And according to this, 22.3 grains, the max load of 480 is at 45,200 PSI, which of course that's on the 48,000 PSI semi-max spec. Over here, the minimum 475 Linebaugh load of 24.5 grains is 5,200 PSI less. Now I like the idea of running that close to the same velocity with the same bullet, but at 5,200 PSI less. I like that. I got rid of a 454 Casull. I got rid of all my 454 Casulls. I don't really care for the high pressure as much. I don't know what it is, the blast, the drama, everything. I like the idea of this big chunk of lead moving out with authority, but not running 200,000 psi, you know, being a little exaggerating here on it. Now, I don't really care nothing about running and trying to do this with the max load, and I have read up on people that have gone past 25 grains loaded long using this bullet with no problems. Now, y'all, I have tested this already several times, actually. I ran 24.0 grains, which is actually, you might want to be careful with that with H110 below the minimum, below the start load. But I ran 24 grains, and I had cases falling out. When you tap the side of the cylinder, they would fall out. You didn't have to push them out. I checked the 24.5 grain. I could tap the side of the cylinder and still have a case or two just fall out on their own. My primers actually looked a little bit better with this minimum 475 Linebaugh load than they did with my max 480 load. I think that I'm honestly getting good performance. I mean, don't get me wrong, this minimum load is still recoiling like you're shooting something. You feel like you're getting everything this is giving you over here, but I feel like I'm getting less pressure signs, which I'm not really getting any pressure signs, but I'm getting less primer flattening with this than I am with this. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to shoot a few of these on camera for y'all, and there's going to be some of y'all that's going to be like, oh, only do what the load manual says. Well, you know, I'm using common sense in with the load manual. I'm not trying to put 24.5 grains or 26.5 grains of powder into a cartridge with a 1.620 length of the 480 Ruger. That would just be reckless and freaking stupid. So I'm dealing with a cartridge overall length. We can pretty much ignore this at this point, the 480 side of it, since I have the length and the case capacity and therefore the pressure characteristics, theoretically, of the 475 Linebaugh. And remember, to all of y'all that think that I'm going to blow this gun up, this is a Ruger with pretty daggum good, what do they call it, some odd carpenter steel in the cylinder. The 480 Ruger's max PSI is 48,000. The max PSI on the Linebaugh, 475 Linebaugh, is just 2,000 PSI more. You're not going to blow up a 48,000 PSI gun with 50,000. Not a Ruger, I promise you that. Now, I'm not going to try to run to 50,000, and if you look, the max load for 475 Linebaugh, according to Hodgson himself, is only 48,500 PSI. Now, how could I hurt a gun that is designed to shoot all day long 48,000 with what the powder manufacturer says is 48,500? So let's get that out of the way. This is not really so much trying to justify coloring outside the lines when I know that over here, especially with the start load, I've got to be safe because I'm running less pressure, y'all. This is not really so much of whether this is a good idea. This is the idea that I'm going with. But I'm shooting this on camera, explaining to y'all what I'm doing so that maybe those of you who aren't bored to tears and fast-forwarded already will get an idea of what's going on. On a morning that Plowboy is wearing ratty shorts and drinking coffee late in the day or whiskey too early. And anyway, let's go out and shoot a couple of these and see what it looks like on camera. Plate turned on me, so it's hard to hit there a few times. Alright, this is what I got for case extraction. This is full power 480 spec, 480 load spec. Just line up the cylinder and it might fall out. Well, thought it was going to fall. Didn't take no pressure. Barely. I can't. That one just fell out. All right, see, that's using, and that one right there was falling out too. That was using the Max 480 spec. And once again, I'm not trying to make a 500 Magnum out of a 480 Ruger. So y'all don't get the impression I'm trying to get everything out of it. I like the power level that this is shooting at right now with a Max 480 load. Of course, that's probably more than what's necessary for anything. With a minimum load, a 480 load, I could probably fully penetrate a deer from just about any angle, a white-tailed deer. But I ain't shooting a 22. I got a 480. I wanted a badass, so you get the idea. What it is I want that performance with less pressure if I can get it. I like the performance with less drama. And that's what I think that I'm accomplishing here. Okay. There's 5 loaded up, 475 Linebaugh length, plus a little. Let's go see what she does. Alright, I'm going to take these loaded up 475 Linebaugh length, maybe a little bit longer, a little insurance there, and 475 Linebaugh start load level according to the powder manufacturer. Now, I've got my steel target turned toward me, but these big bullets, of course them small bullets, 45 Colt bullets, turn it some, I'm going to have to fix that. So if you hear 1 or 2 rings and then you don't hear no more, I might be missing it, and then again the target might be sideways. So we're just doing this to see if it functions and see, not if I can hit the plate or if the plate will stay still, but just to see if I want to see what it looks like on camera, the recoil. Y'all come along with me. I love how those, I love how the cartridges look. Can y'all see that? How they're filling up that cylinder? I mean, they're right there level, almost with the edge. They went right in, no problem. Let's see how this does. Y'all shut up and shoot. Whew, knocks the hell out of that target. It's actually fairly damn accurate. That's hitting real close. Pull the bullet out of the crimp. I need to dial in more crimp. I'll do that. Got to dial in a little more crimp for this. There ain't no room for it to pull at all. That's what it's doing. So just right at the very end of the bullet, I can feel just a little booger in the lead from the forcing going. So I'll have to dial in more crimp. Scratch off the high spot with my thumbnail. My eye gouger. There we go. More crimp, y'all. And the target's completely backwards. Alright. Let's see how the cases look. It's gonna just fall out. No pressure hardly at all, just touch it with the ejector rod. Not sticky at all. That's about like it is with a 470, well, excuse me, with a 480 load. If I keep the damn cylinder lined up. Yep. See, that one fell out on its own. they ain't no more flattened than they are 480 loop. As a matter of fact, they might be a little less so.